Good to see you this Monday afternoon. It is now 3 o'clock and we have a lot going on weather-wise. So we, of course, want to keep you updated on the latest information. We do have a weather impact alert that is going to extend through this evening due to the threat of some of these widespread storms. Packing a punch with some things that we've been familiar with over the last 2 weeks, being the damaging winds and also that risk of flash flooding in some of these storms also, where we just got a flash flood warning for us here in the Triad. You can see plenty of us across the Carolinas have been seeing these pop-up storms kind of continue to make their way in, bubble up, and then fizzle out over some time. But before they do, they're packing a punch. They're bringing in those damaging winds and, of course, that the wind threat and also that threat of some flash flooding across the area. So I wanted to kind of track some of these storms with us, and right now also that flash flood warning that is now in effect. And this is a brand new warning here just within the last couple of minutes until 6 o'clock tonight due to the threat of these storms bringing in, of course, all of that heavy rainfall that has to go somewhere, right? We saw in some places in Guilford County just last night we had a flash flood warning until 2 a.m. due to the fact that we saw between 2 to 5 inches, or 2 to 4 inches, excuse me, in some of those places just toward the southwest of Guilford, of Greensboro itself. We're seeing a couple of these pop-up storms right now continue to kind of sit over portions of West Wendover Avenue. I'm going to kind of zoom in on what rainfall we've seen so far and where I'm seeing kind of the highest rainfall rates across the area. Gallimore Dairy Road was also one of the spots we're seeing those higher reflectivities with the higher rainfall. Thorndike Road, this is all off of I-40. Let's go over to this section over here. That's a little bit closer to the heart of downtown Greensboro near Scott Park, Nacho Park, and also over here toward Huffin Mill Road. Burlington Road also seeing a lot of cloud to ground lightning within these isolated storms. These storms aren't severe, but they're bringing down a lot of rain in a very short amount of time, which is why this flash flood warning was issued. It's on top of the rainfall that we've had over the last several days. The soils are already saturated, so it really isn't going to take much rain to cause a flooding risk across the area. I'll look right now at some of the rainfall amounts that we've seen within this storm so far, and I'm going to take a look at the warning that we had just to kind of get a better idea and poke some numbers out at you to show you what these amounts look like. Anywhere between 1 to 2 inches in these places here already, with more coming down as we speak. I'm going to take a look at with our National Weather Service partners right now and see what they're seeing for the flash flood warning. So between 1 to 2 inches of rain have fallen per the National Weather Service. Additional rainfalls amount between 1 to 2 inches are possible within that warned area. That includes the areas that are up here on this map that are being rained on currently. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. So, you know, I want to emphasize, make sure if you see that a road is flooded, please don't attempt to drive in it. Please turn around. Don't drown when encountering these flooded roads. Most flood deaths do actually occur in vehicles. So please be extra careful while you're out on the roads. If you see some ponding alongside the roads, don't try to hit it. It really doesn't take much to hydroplane. You got to be especially careful. But if you're within this flash flood warning, really, I know it's 3 o'clock. It's going to continue through till 6 o'clock. I really just want you to get home or to a safe building, whether you're at work or maybe you're outside getting outside of work, getting a nice little lunch. Just head back to work for these last couple of hours as this rain settles. And if you're at home, just stay home. Really don't want anybody driving in this as this rain continues to come down and we see these storms kind of just sitting pretty stationary across the area. I did want to talk about why we've been seeing this threat, of course, with these storms just kind of sitting and remaining stationary, bringing in that rain and that wind whenever they kind of collapse on themselves. Well, it's due to the fact that we really don't have any upper level systems that are steering currents for these storms to help move them through and kind of say goodbye to them as we do so. They're really just kind of able to form due to the heat and humidity, and then also some outflow boundaries of other storms can interact and kind of create these isolated pop-up storms in other places across the area. So we want you to take this seriously heading into the next couple of hours for this flash flooding risk. We are in a level 2 out of 4 risk for flash flooding today, with that yellow indicating level 2 for much here of the Triad, especially northeast counties. This means that that scattered flash flooding is going to be possible across the area. Areas that are in this kind of lighter green here, that is isolated flash flooding. So that's a level 1. So that's a step down from that level 2. Also, we don't know if you can hear the thunder, but it is right over us here at the WFMY News 2 Studio 2. Severe storm risk for our area. We are in a level 1, meaning that isolated severe storms going to be possible. I did want to zoom out just to kind of show you the full extent of how many people are being impacted by this by these storms. It's really much of the southeast here that are kind of right along that interaction here, where you can see some interaction between the upper level trough and also some of the heat and humidity. It continues not only for us here and toward Washington, where they're in that level 2, but also all the way down through the southeast and also into portions of Florida. Extending all the way down actually through Miami. So it's not just us that is within this risk today here in the Triad. It is much of the southeast due to the current weather setup that we have currently across the area. I'm going to go back over to the radar and kind of storm track with you guys just a little bit more. We are seeing a couple of other pop-up storms, of course, mainly continuing to kind of follow this flash flood warning that's going to be in effect for the next couple of hours. Could get extended, of course, if we do see redevelopment of these storms kind of continuing to sit in this boxed area that you can see in this greened outline area. So we'll keep you posted on that, and of course bring you updates as we continue to track the radar. There are a couple of isolated pop-up storms also in Randolph County, just north of Randleman. Again, none of these severe for right now, but they are packing a punch. They're pretty strong storms, so you can expect some possible damaging wind, a little bit of lightning, and of course the heavy rainfall that comes with these small and intense storms. There's one actually just toward the south right now of Asheboro that we're kind of continuing to track, and this is right along 64. If you shout out your road, that is where we're seeing kind of like the highest rainfall within this one storm, right here along Indian Wells Loop, Dusty Path Drive, Alley's Farm Road, Twin Creek Road. Kind of starting to see that pop-up storm move into the area where those streets I just pulled out are at, excuse me. And then we're also seeing a couple of other pop-up storms that are more terrain driven. These are kind of more created by the fact that we're able to see these storms rise over the mountains. They cool, condense, and then that's where they're able to form, right there on the leeward side of the mountains right here. So this is right along the border between Allegheny and also Wilkes County. Lots of isolated pop-up storms bringing in lightning and heavy rainfall. This is just to the south of Cherry Lane, moving kind of stationary, but maybe a little bit south over there toward Trap Hill. And of course, we're going to have to be keeping a close eye on these storms for the next several hours as we kind of track this. That flash flood warning, if you're just joining us in Guilford County, is going to go until 6 o'clock tonight, but it could get extended if we do see some redevelopment within these storms. I wanted to take a look currently at some of the current conditions and also show you our future cast to kind of give you an idea of what to expect for the rest of the night tonight. Here is 3 o'clock today. Really until around 8 or 9 o'clock, I'm expecting some of these pop-up storms to form, but they could form later than that, so we're going to be keeping a close eye on it. Really, this impact alert is going to last all the way through later on into the evening as we continue to track these storms. As for current conditions, right at around 90 degrees in Burlington, plenty of sunshine, but you can see the darker clouds starting to move through. Dew points, really one of the biggest fuel points for these storms, right in the middle 70s. That's making it feel like we are in the upper 90s across the area. Winston-Salem, lots of sunshine right at around 90. Feeling like we are in the upper 90s. Greensboro right now, let's take a look at that sky cam. Couple of raindrops currently coming down, lower 80s, feels like we are in the upper 80s, but obviously a little bit cooler than the other places due to the fact that we're seeing rain currently in the area. Here's a current look at those temperatures and also feels like temps across the area. Lower 80s in Greensboro versus otherwise. The other places that aren't really seeing those showers right at around 90 for Lexington, Asheboro, Siler City, Burlington, and feeling like we are even in the triple digits in some places like over here toward Siler City. It has been a warm day, but more than that, it has been very muggy across the area. Dew points are currently sitting in the oppressive low to mid 70s across our area. And of course, It's going to stay that way for the next couple of hours, and that's going to kind of help those isolated storms to help them form. Wind gusts across the area, not much to see right now, but I'm sure later on this evening we're going to have some higher wind gusts and some of these storms that continue to kind of pop up and continue into the next couple of hours. We're really going to be moving out of our hair later on this evening, but I would be prepared for them. If you're going to have anything outdoors, just keep a very close eye on the radar. Into the day tomorrow, scattered storms still going to be possible, a little bit cooler as a result in the low to mid 80s. And I'm going to leave you with a final look at your 7-day forecast into the next couple of days. Scattered storm chances. We can kind of take this full pop-up storms possible into Friday and also into the upcoming weekend. Hey, stick with us. We'll have more updates, of course, as storms continue to pop up across the Triad, and we'll bring you those updates.